I am Jeff Foxworthy, and welcome to Gamekeeper Podcast. If you want to learn more about farming for wildlife and habitat management, then, buddy, you are in the right place. Join the Gamekeeper crew direct from Mossy Oak Land Enhancement Studio as they discuss the latest wildlife and habitat management practices, news, and, of course, hunting. There's no telling what you'll learn, but I'm going to tell you, I bet it's interesting. Enjoy.
We're live in 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody, welcome. Here we are, West Point, Mississippi, and I have no idea what this one is going to be like.
It's going to be fun, that's for sure. Yeah, no doubt about it.
I think it is. So I'm looking around the room. There's a lot going on. I'll go ahead and get him introduced.
Yeah.
We've got a really funny guy.
Local guy.
And
Mississippi, son.
He's a little north of us.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, but we've got Mr. Trent Ellis.
In the house.
Rock and roll, baby.
He's got quite a social media following.
Yeah, he does.
And he likes to make people laugh, you can tell. And Trent evidently loves hunting. It's a big part of what he does.
Now, it's weaved into everything he does, no doubt about it.
And I will add that a lot of people that don't hunt follow him and love everything he does. In fact, my first experience seeing one of your videos or whatever was a buddy that doesn't even hunt that sent it to me.
Yeah, he's like, this guy acts like you.
Yeah. This is what it's about.
I just want to sit here and listen to more introductions, man. This is good. I like this.
Yeah, we hit the horns for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at you. You got a lot of tattoos on you now.
Oh, yeah. My daddy, he said after my second deployment, I came home and he said, son, every time you come back, you've got more on you. I don't know whether to hug you or read you.
That's pretty good.
So, yeah, I got a life-size coloring book right here all over me.
Bobby's always going to point out, if you got long hair or a tattoo or
it's all in
If y'all had
jealousy.
done this podcast 8 months ago, I did have long hair then.
Is that right?
So I could have checked off all the boxes.
Well, he'd have really picked on you if you had long hair.
Look like a regular dope-smoking hippie, you know what I mean?
Well, do you worry about ink poisoning at all?
Mr. Bobby, I have never been asked that before. The answer is no, but I did want to point that out. I have never been asked that.
Well,
No, sir.
I think it's a thing now. I think that people are becoming aware that there could be some negative effects to it.
Well, with everything going on in our country and our world, I'm going to refuse to worry about ink poisoning.
There you go. That's
Bobby probably
he's a wise man.
Bobby probably had a Diet Mountain Dew for lunch, or maybe just a regular Mountain Dew. So
I think that's going to be in heaven. All right, flowing with a river of milk and honey and Diet Mountain Dew.
and tattoos.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm a mellow yellow guy. That's my
mellow yellow?
Yeah, I like it.
You like that hard stuff.
It's-
You like tattoos now. You like the hard stuff.
He's hardcore.
All right, before we get started, Lanny, I want to tell you, remember last week I sent you a picture of my wife and daughter and son-in-law caught a hawk in our yard?
Oh, yeah, the war eagle. That's what I was calling it.
Well, it was a Cooper's hawk, and it was, Trent, this is crazy. They sent me this video, and there was an injured hawk in our yard. And they somehow throw a towel over it, get it in a box, and then they're wondering about what to do. And all I can think of is, if you cross the state line with it, it's probably against the law just to have a hawk to begin with, and they're wanting to take it to a vet somewhere and get it taken care of. So they called and found a wildlife rehabilitator in Columbus.
Yeah.
And she stays there late, and they drive this Cooper's hawk over there. It was a beautiful bird. The lady says it's in great condition. She doesn't know it. They x-ray it. There's no broken wing because it was kind of flopping on the ground. And so then she said, she promises my wife, I'll call you back and tell you what's going on. And even the beak was a certain color. I think it was really bright yellow. It had a spot on it. And she said, I can look at it, that spot on his beak, and tell you he's very hydrated. He's in
good shape.
Yeah. So she calls back a few days later. She's got bad news. She said he just started collapsing, and they ran some kind of blood analysis on him, and he had poison in him. So like somebody's barn, but they probably poisoned
rat poison,
rats, and then the rat ran out, and the hawk ate the rat.
I've heard that.
So it's just kind of sad to think that. I mean, what an awful way to go.
Didn't one of the what's a bird?
In West Point.
Well, that's true.
What's a bird researcher's name? I mean, not the name, but like ologist.
Ornithologist.
Ornithologist. Didn't we have an ornithologist that brought that to light?
Rodenticide is what they call it.
Yeah, rodenticide.
And it's evidently it's a problem.
So did it recover?
No, they had to put it down.
Oh, wow.
They said it would not recover.
And it happens to dogs too. They can get in some rat poison.
Yeah,
Andy
there's a
had that
lot
happen.
of other methods that are more effective and safer.
To do what?
Like the bucket trick with the peanut butter in the bucket if
Yeah.
you're trying to catch mice. I mean, there's a lot of other
Cats.
things on the market besides putting poison out.
Yeah.
Cats are an option.
I got to be honest with you, though. I've had a cat in the back of my side by side getting trash for the last week.
It's got to go.
I'm not really thinking about the
The positive benefits of cats.
population. Yeah, I'm going to be putting something out to get this cat. Yeah, but yeah,
You got to be careful.
But I guess hawks and owls would be,
Susceptible to that.
That's
No doubt
right.
about it.
Yeah. Anyway, it was just such a beautiful bird.
And on the same note, aren't the songbirds migrating right now? I've seen a lot of graphs of
Yes,
that.
like in a major way.
Yeah. So that's happening now too. It's fall, so
It is. It's a fun time of year.
deer season opens. What, day after tomorrow?
Well, it's open in a lot of places already.
Excuse me, in Mississippi it opens day
Yeah.
after tomorrow. So
yeah.
Trent,
Yes,
speaking
sir.
of fun, yeah, what your personality is just geared toward having fun, making people laugh. Or were you the class clown?
I got 39 paddlings in 8th grade. That's not an exaggeration or a lie. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed making people laugh. I don't know where it came from, but my dad was that way. His daddy was that way. He was a character. He was a drunk, mean character, but he was still a character when he, wasn't beating on his family. But I've just always been that way, man. I've loved to laugh myself. Some of the fondest memories I have is just watching my dad watch Seinfeld
just laughing the
and
whole time.
just watching
Seeing
him
the
laugh.
reactions.
Well, part of the Southern outdoor culture is storytelling ability. It really is. So I can relate to exactly what you're saying by all the hunters that helped raise me when I was young, and I would just be at awe of the stories. And granted, probably, was it a little embellished? Well, of course.
That's what makes a good story.
That's right.
Yeah.
What did John Phillips say? You never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
That's right.
Why would you do that?
That's great.
Yeah, you might want to patent that, Lanny. Trademark that. If somebody steals that.
John Phillips. Old friend of the brand for sure.
What a good guy.
Yeah, he could crank them out too.
So before we get too far down the road, why don't we turn it over to Dudley and let him work his
Rapid
magic.
fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is brought to you by our friends at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Yes, sir.
All right, Trent. So I'm going to just ask you a few questions in rapid succession. We're trying to get to know you better. Okay. So there may be some yeses, some nos, some maybes, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So just quick answers. Are you ready?
Yes.
Roy D. Mercer or the Jerky Boys?
Roy D. Mercer.
Who is a better hunter, you or your brother?
Me.
What tastes better to you, summer sausage or deer jerky?
Oh, summer sausage.
Did you have a dirt bike when you were a kid?
Yes.
I figured you did. Have you ever shot something you weren't supposed to with a pellet gun? I guess I was
17 HMR.
HMR.
5 to 7 years.
I did not know that story. What did you shoot your first deer with?
243.
Hey.
Would you rather bass fish, brim fish, or crappie fish?
Bass fish.
What was the first podcast you were on?
Fistful of dirt with Cuz
There you
Strickland.
go.
Boom, my boy.
We'll have to ask him at the end which one was more fun.
No.
Have you ever killed more than one button buck in a season?
I refuse to answer that. Plus 5, 7 years, yes.
What is your favorite local lunch or supper spot in your hometown?
Guy's place.
Okay.
What's the hometown?
Oh, well, my hometown's Manatee. So that's where I live now is Fulton, but probably Delmar's, Manatee.
Okay. Now, time to brag a little. What is the highest view count you have on one of your videos?
I think it was the Amish hunting video I did, and I think it's a little over 13 million on Facebook.
Do you say koozie or huggy?
Koozie.
What about ice chest or cooler?
Cooler.
Good answer. And are they lightning bugs or fireflies?
The lightning bugs.
And last but not least, who told you where to kill your first turkey?
All right. First of all, okay. John Tatum. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, he's our coworker.
Yeah. There we go. That was definitely set up for sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
there.
Tell us the
Okay, yeah, I wanna
story.
hear the story.
I was sitting there and I had been hunting. I was in college. I was fresh out of the Marines. And I was in my first, I want to say, or second semester at ICC and hunting on public, sitting there waiting on a buddy of mine to ride up on a bicycle. I'm sitting there with my mouth called, just, just doing the basics and all this kind of stuff. And I got a wild hair because John had told me before, and I knew he had the reputation, man. He's a turkey thug, turkey killer. I'm just going to call John to see, because we had talked this season prior and everything. And I told him, he said, "Where are you at?" I told him where I was. He said, "Get up and go north about a half a mile." And he said, "Anywhere in there, that's a good spot." So my buddy Cole comes riding up on a bicycle, and we're on that levee, and we're riding north on bicycles, trying to get to this spot. Well, Cole, he's in better shape than I am, and he is ahead of me 10, 15 yards with his head down like he's, trying to do a
Huffing it.
yeah. And I got my head up behind him, and I'm looking, and I see birds on the levee, all right? But they're way up there. And I'm trying to get his attention without hollering and, messing up the birds and everything. And he finally looks up. Well, when he does, he's too close to the birds. The birds run off, and we get up there, we stop. And I tell him, I said, "Look," because at this point, Cole knows just as much as I do about turkey hunting, which is very, very little. Mm-hmm. But I had been doing it so much. I've been on YouTube, been trying to talk to veterans in the game and trying to learn as much. And I said, "Look, what we need to do, they're done right here. We can't go up behind them and try to chase them. They're done." I said, "Why don't we keep going up about 300 yards, dump the bikes and get in the bottom and run in there about 100, 200 yards and hit that slate call. Maybe, just maybe." Because one of them was a gobbler. We knew that. And the other one was the same size, but I couldn't see a beard. And I said, "Man, maybe if it's two gobblers, one of them will think, hey, this is a hen." And by George, look, we got in there about 200 yards in the woods, and it was windy. I don't know how they heard this slate call, because I can get a lot louder on my mouth calls than I can a slate. I hit that darn. I don't even know if I'm calling it. I mean, because I know there's a difference in slate and pot calls.
Call.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know which one it was, but yeah. I'm sitting there hitting that, and I'm like, "Did you hear that?" I think I heard a faint gobble. Hit it again, and sure enough, the wind had kind of paused a little bit, and and I'm like, "Oh." So we sat down. We go up there another 50 yards or so, and it's kind of thick grown up around, but we got a little hole that's probably a 50-yard, diameter radius or whatever, that's pretty clear. There's a couple of really big oak trees in there, so there's no understory, and then right outside of that's pretty thick grass.
A little strut zone.
A stage.
So we're sitting there, and for 40 minutes, I'm just back and forth. All right, wait just a minute. 5 minutes. He's over here. So he's, after hearing that for 15 or 20 minutes, I can tell when he gobbles, he's here, and then he's here, and then he's back here, and he's just strutting back and forth. And I told Cole, I said, "Man," I said, I don't think this is the bottom. We can't sneak up on him. There's no elevation change. The only thing we can do is make him mad enough or, ready enough to come to her. And I think that's the only chance we got. And I said, "I'm going to hit him again." And I couldn't cut. I couldn't do nothing. Couldn't purr. It was just. And I said, "I'm going to do that one more time. If he answers me, I'm done." And sure enough, he did. He answered me. And I said, "I'm done. I'm not calling again." Well, about 10 minutes goes by. And we hear that. And I look over to my right, and about 20 yards to my right, I see there's a huge oak tree, red oak tree, and I see part of his fan come out from the side. And then I see this other bird coming through. And I could see him coming through the grass, but he was at the point where he was too far. I was going to have to shoot through stuff. And I'm like, oh my. And then he gobbled right there in that hardwood bottom at 25 yards. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, when he come out, and I've got to give a huge credit to Dr. Cole Stevens.
Okay.
All right. He had this bird in his sights, and he had never killed a bird. But because he was going with me, and I was supposedly putting him, I was, the one that was hunting. He was just tagging along. He didn't shoot this bird, and he could have. Now, that's a friend.
That is a friend.
Bobby's
not that good a friend.
True friend.
No, Bobby's not that good a friend, by the way.
And so that bird, he steps out, because I'm sitting there thinking Cole's going to shoot this bird, because me and him, we're about 10 yards apart. And I'm like, Cole's got to see this bird. He's finna lay this bird to waste. But if he doesn't, if that son of a gun comes out from behind that tree, I just need a chest. I don't need no head. And he put that old head out there from that tree. And I was like, I'd really like a chest just to make sure. And he took one little step to where this was exposed. And y'all, I got to be honest with you, I don't think we ate that bird. But he hit the ground.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was a year. That was a full season, because that was April the 17th or 18th of 2018.
You've been at it a while then. Yeah.
And as soon as I got out in February of 2017, I hit the woods that spring trying to get my first turkey. And I was in the woods 4 or 5 days a week. Had a couple of encounters, really figured out what not to do. And then for it all to come together, all on public right there, it just, woo boy, it was emotional.
Yeah,
That was a good story.
It was a great story.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
You're a good
John gets some
storyteller.
credit. Unfortunately, John.
Yeah.
John gets some credit.
Yeah.
John gets credit.
Well,
Do you think if John would have been sitting beside you instead of the good doc, do you think he'd have shot the bird?
I think he would say that he wouldn't.
But I think he would.
Because John's also one of those guys that he'll be like, man, before we get out of the truck, we need to know who's going to kill that bird. And then you'll be like, man, before we go on the hunt. And he's like, nah, but I'm really not, worried about shooting the bird. It's like, yeah, you are.
Yeah,
or you
you
wouldn't
are.
have
Yeah,
brought
that's
it
right,
up.
yeah.
So we don't, John may be a loose cannon.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to get those things spelled out.
No, but I love me some John Tatum. He's a good fellow.
He's a good fellow.
Yes,
We're proud
sir.
to have him. Been around here a while.
Yes.
He has. Old Tater.
John Tater.
John
Yep.
Tatum.
Wow.
So go ahead.
No.
No. You go.
I'm just amazed that somebody let a turkey walk past them.
That's not in your. That's not in his skill set. Trust me.
They were ganoobs. I'm sure your buddy now would totally shoot one out from front of you.
Well,
100%.
Well, when it was over,
didn't know
what did he
about
say?
So he was also just super stoked.
Yeah.
Super stoked. And the worst part about it is a few years later, we're south of here and we're in college.
That's all you need to say.
Cole, there you go. Cole comes up. We're going to deer hunt. And we go to this spot that I had been to during turkey season. And I told him, I said, we were riding the roads. And I said, man, we need to try this spot. I remember turkey hunting here and a bird back here and thinking, I need to come back here to scout this place. And that's what we did. And we rounded that thicket edge. And man, it was like the Lord's deer was right there. I mean, just the amount of sign. I guarantee you there was 5 or 6 scrapes. There was legitimately 2 white oaks dropping and 2 scrapes right there. There was scrapes with white oak green acorns in the scrapes.
It's a good spot.
There was 7 rubs.
Yeah.
And before that, about 90 yards before that, there was 1 scrape. And I told Cole, I said, because he come up all the way from Jackson. He was in medical school. And I told him, I said, look, bud, I said, I've been hunting here. I said, I've had a couple of good seasons here. I said, I know where deer are. You drove all the way up. You let me kill my first bird. Like, I'm going through all this stuff. And like, man, you are getting the spot. You are getting the feed, the scrapes, the rubs. You are getting the honey hole because this is it. And
He believed you?
I believe me. When you see what I saw, you're like, this. He's right around the corner.
Yeah.
He's looking at us.
He is on the way.
Lanny tells me something
Bobby
like that. I'm
doesn't
like,
understand.
yeah, right. Okay, whatever.
I told him, I said, look, we're bow hunting. I said, I'll back up and I'll hunt this one single scrape back here. I want you to kill this deer. This has got to be a decent sized buck. All right, it ain't no little big, basket rat 6. And I said, I'm gonna put you in the best spot. So 5:15 rolls around, and I am hiding behind a 20-inch pine tree in my saddle. And I look over, and there he is. He has come out of the pine thicket, checked the one scrape, 25 yards, and I shot him, killed him.
I knew where this story was going.
And Cole was fine with that too. He was like, man, I get it. He's like, if I had to bet money on who was going to see this deer and kill this deer, I would have put life savings on my spot.
Well, if anybody's looking for a new member in their hunting camp,
Cole's the guy.
You would. We need you, man.
Cole's the man.
Yeah, what kind of doctor is he?
He is going to be, I think he's in residency now, an orthopedic surgeon.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cole was always that guy in school. He was super athletic, and he always got like the highest academic awards. I remember one time, it was a year that I actually had to, and there's people that you can call in my area that can validate this story. We had to help him hold all of his academic plaques.
Wow.
So his mama could take a picture with him. And then they said, Trent, get your awards. And I had a white piece of paper that said perfect attendance.
Killing it. Yeah.
So it's like, you need to learn how to be funny. So.
Well, it sounds like y'all are still good friends. That's cool.
Yeah. We spoke a couple of weeks ago. We don't get to talk as much because I'm busy and he's busy. But yeah, we got to get together again. Cole, if you're listening to this, we got to get
That's
together.
how good.
Hey,
friends
good
are.
hunting bros. That's the way. That's exactly right.
So are you a deer guy or a turkey guy?
So
whatever's
we're in deer
in season,
season. I'm a deer guy.
There you go.
When it's turkey season, I feel like I'm a turkey guy. I think that the tail fan touches the bottom tip of the antlers on my rating scale. I grew up deer hunting for so long, and I got into turkey hunting a lot later in life. So I just have a lot more of those core memories. And like if you told me, hey Trent, you can kill a 190-inch mule deer or a 300-inch bull elk in Colorado, or you can go back here and shoot a 145-inch whitetail out of a bean field, all right, with a 308, I'm picking a bean field and 308.
Yeah.
Just because that, and I still am at my point now to where I've messed up on some pretty decent deer, but I haven't personally killed anything over 120 inches. So I'm still very, pardon my French, pissed off at them. I'm hungry. I'm ready to get them. You know what I mean?
Still in that freezer phase.
You
That's
have
right.
that. And Mr. Bobby, I know I've heard you're a big turkey guy.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
also
may
like-
disagree with this, but with deer, I feel like there's so many characteristics that just stand out and that just make every buck its own.
Yeah.
No 8-point is the same.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to have that same distinction with a turkey,
No, you can't.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
The
They all look
chase is
alike.
what makes the turkey hunting.
The
And
chase.
there's
that's exactly
turkeys.
right.
There's turkey hunters that would argue that with you, but I agree.
I agree too.
Yeah.
And
But the way you told that turkey story, you've definitely,
you got bit for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and John told me, he's like, look, bud,
It's
when you
bad.
kill that first one,
Yeah.
it's over with. And he's right.
You want to go every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bobby is a turkey guy. However, his first love, I would say, is
So I like the antlers.
he's an antler guy for sure.
Yeah, and the meat is it's a big part of it.
He's more in the body weight now. That's right.
But
We've converted him.
It's
Yeah.
good protein.
That's right.
Yeah,
Good for
that's
you.
right.
So how old were you when your dad started dragging you in the woods?
My dad didn't start dragging me.
Oh, well, how did you get exposed?
My uncle, his brother, was the deer hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have a joke about this. I wrote this. And see, my uncle was 8 years younger than my daddy. My brother's 6 years older than me.
Ah.
So my brother, once he got 7, 8, 9 years old, Sean was still pretty young and still ready to be an uncle, wanting to be. And took Trey to have his first deer killed and put the tree stand on the tree and watch him get up and climb behind him and all that kind of stuff. And then when I turned 8, 9 years old, ready to go hunting, he had to work. So I get to go hunting now with my non-deer hunting daddy. All right. That consists of no camo, best value cigarettes, styrofoam cup of coffee, and when that's empty, the hunt's done. All right. So my dad took me a couple of times when I was 7, 8 years old, and my brother started taking me when I was 9. And the same shoot house that me and my dad sat a couple of times while smoke was going out the shoot house window. That was the same shoot house that I shot and killed my first 2 deer with my brother.
Okay.
The first one I shot was when I was 9, and it was a spike. Shot it for a doe. We get up to it. Trey's like, "It's got balls." And I'm
Come
like,
on.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Shot the next one for a cow horn spike. Had brow tine, so it's a big 4
4
point.
point. You're moving on up the scale.
Yeah,
God.
exactly. So my brother was the one that really introduced me to hunting.
Yeah.
And that was another one of those things, man, that, when I was real little, I got to duck hunt with a friend of mine, Matt Prohaska. Well, I wouldn't say real. I was like 12, and I only got to do it once during that time. And then about 2 years later, I got to go with another group of guys, and then I started duck hunting. Once I got into the woods and deer hunted, I wanted to hunt everything. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter what it was. If it was the main 3, all right, deer, duck, turkey, I wanted to be about it. I just knew that's what I wanted to do. And if there was any way that I could make a living at it in the future, I was going to, and had no idea social media or YouTube would allow for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just knew from a long time. That's how I got into finance. The guy that was sitting across the desk from me was like, "Hey, I can show you how to get financially licensed, insurance and investments, make your own schedule, and stay in the woods 5 days a week." I'm like, "So how about this licensing? How can I get licensed?"
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tell us about this.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, because I think his story's just like yours and just like yours and just like mine, as a young child. And Mitchell, probably just like yours too. Just infatuated with everything outside. And I mean, of course, want to spend as much time as you can in it.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now I've got kids, and it's like,
I was fixing to drop another gear.
man, my son, he's pointing at the screen with his gun. He's getting out there with his fake bow, and he's playing make believe. "Did you see that deer I killed, Daddy?" I'm like, "Son, stop."
Hey, cherish those times.
Yeah.
Because they'll be shooting your deer real quick pretty soon.
Man, I'm ready for it.
That's so much fun.
I'm ready.
They don't have to. I mean, you can take them, and let them watch and let them be an observer, and that'll get them engaged.
Yeah, actually, Hayden, my oldest, his first harvest was with my wife when he was real young.
Well, she's the hunter in the family.
Well, I know. I mean, somebody's got to provide around there, don't they? That's right. But anyway,
that's not surprising at all.
yeah.
So northeast Alabama is kind of where you cut your teeth hunting.
Northeast Mississippi.
Yeah, where are you talking about?
Northeast Mississippi is where you cut your teeth
translocating yourself.
Itawamba County.
Itawamba County.
It's close. It's close. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Waterway?
I cut my teeth.
Yeah.
No, I cut my teeth hunting all on private land because my dad and my uncle owned 20 acres together. Was where I killed my first 2 deer. And then my dad bought 30 acres where they live now. And that's where I killed the rest of them, essentially, until I joined the military. And then once I got out of the military is when I actually started, like THP was just now starting. So I was watching them, and I was like, man, we got a bunch of public land around here. And I'm kind of sick and tired of just
Hunting the same old spot every time.
And expecting to kill a 13-inch wide 8-point. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm going to try to actually go chase them. And then I started really, really hunting, like 4 or 5 days a week, trying to do whatever job I could to make sure I could get in the woods. And a buddy of mine that I met at Mississippi State, Tyler Hines, he's the manager at Roosevelt State Park, probably the best public land hunter I've ever been around in my life. He taught me a lot walking beside him. And he taught me just a valuable lesson of, when you're walking around on public, until he sees something that fires him up, and he may just see a bottom or a thicket edge with no sign on it, but for whatever reason, it just feels right. he doesn't climb up until he finds something that fires him up. And learning stuff like that, and just, because I'm not your, your guy that's going to go on the hunter pod or something like that and give all these, analytics and reasonings. And I don't even know exactly how thermals work. Okay. But there's some things that I picked up with him that really, really helped me. But I mean, the biggest thing is that, you play the wind right, and you got to be in the woods to kill them.
You got to be in the woods to kill. And your gut, it has a lot to do with it, especially as you gain more experiences. There's no doubt about it.
And that public land, we were joking around earlier, like you grew up with a dirt bike and stuff. I just don't picture you as a person wanting to sit in the same place for a long amount of time, especially multiple times in a row.
Yeah.
And so getting out on that public land, you got to see new spots and, do all that kind of stuff and walk around. And
go in different places too, even if you don't get to kill one. Now, don't get me wrong. When I leave my house and get in my truck, I want to pull the trigger or the trigger on that release. That's what I'm going for. I'm not going out there to talk to Jesus. All right. I can do that at the house. But just still getting out there on a nice, cool front morning, if you can see some deer, and especially if you can go to a different place, my Lord, that's better than any good day at work.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. That's where God shows himself right there.
You ever lied to another hunter?
You ever lied? Yes.
Any of that to keep somebody from going in an area or doing something?
All the time. I still do.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Proudly.
Yeah.
I will answer for that at judgment one day, but I'm gonna stand up and do it.
I think the good Lord understands, some of that.
Well, let's just say, first of all, can we just say, quit asking people where they're killing their animals at?
Yeah,
that's
true.
Yeah, because I always tell people the same thing, and I learned this from a boy named Mason at ICC. Big old country boy, kind of deep voice, just sat in the back, didn't say a whole lot. I don't know what he's doing now, but we were talking about this one day, and he said, Trent, you know what I tell every one of them that asked me where I killed my deer at? And I said, where at, Mason? He said, I tell them, you know where Walmart's at? Yeah. Ain't nowhere near there. And I have used that.
That's pretty good. We're going to write that one down.
Well, I think you could probably remember that one later if you put your mind to it.
Maybe. You never know.
So have you got to travel other states much and hunt any other places?
Yes. So turkey hunting, you asked me if I was a turkey guy. Last year, I'm sponsored, my camo sponsors with Nomad. That also uses y'all.
Yeah,
good guys.
But
hit the horns for them there, Mitchell. Wake up over there.
Yeah,
we can. Mitchell. What you drinking your Sonic drink? And
one of their guys, he owns an outfitter in Florida.
Yeah,
and he sent me a picture.
Mike, what's his name?
Tussey.
Yeah.
He's been on the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right.
Yeah. Do you ever listen to our podcast?
I don't listen to nobody. Unless you're Theo Vaughn or Joe Rogan, I don't listen to nobody.
Man, that kind of hurt.
That's kind of. But yeah, no. He sent me a picture this spring, or I'm sorry, at the very end of February, like right there before March 1st, and he sent me a picture, and it was of like 8 or 9 dead birds. And he's like, get on down here. And I looked at my wife and look, I make some videos and exaggerate about how she is. My wife I'm so glad that I got her. Because any boy raised hunting or wants to hunt, it would love a woman like I got. All right. I looked at her, I said, listen. And I showed her the picture. She said, when you leaving? I said, I think tomorrow. So he called me and sent me that picture. 48 hours later, I was on the road, and I went down there. I think I left that Sunday morning, and got down there about 3, and we hunted that evening, and woke up that morning and killed one right at daylight, and I was on the road by 9 o'clock, headed back. So, and that was a 12-hour drive. So when
smiling
you
the whole
me,
way. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a pretty special place down there.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, I don't know what you asked me.
Well, I asked you, had you hunted
other places?
Yeah. South Dakota, I killed my first out-of-state deer this year.
Nice.
And that was incredible. It was not a huge deer, but it was. I like to take a lot. I'm very sentimental. I like to look at a lot of the small details and hold on to them like it was my first 10 point. It was my first out of state deer. It was the first time I'd ever shot a deer at 40 yards. It was the first time I'd ever called one up and killed it.
Oh,
Wait a minute. Now you got to tell the story.
So here's the crazy part. About a month before, this is at the tail end of December. And so a month before that, the 1st of December, end of November, I fly out there to Corey and Foster. They got a YouTube channel, Prestige Outdoors. And fly out there to hunt with them. We had gotten to know one another. We had, done some things, collabed and everything. And he's like, man, why don't you come out here and deer hunt? They're not really big deer hunters for some reason, but they're huge turkey hunters. Huge turkey hunters and huge any kind of bird hunting. And I said, shoot, yeah, I'd love to. Because, man, every time I drive up to Washington to meet go see my in-laws, all we see is just rack bucks dead on the side of I-90 rolling through South Dakota. So at the end of November, I go up there and I hunt for 4 days in a row. And I missed 2 deer at 60 yards. That's as close as they got to us. Saw some hammers. And this is free range. This is just private land. This is just like if you call your buddy who's got access to a couple 100 acres somewhere and go hunt. That's exactly what we did. And so there ain't no, they don't got it in a pen and letting it out and all that kind of stuff, or they don't do it guide wise or anything. But we saw some hammers, and on the last day I saw 2 of them that were rack bucks, and I was like, man, they're not something I'd put on the wall, but they'd be something that I would love to shoot at. And say I was shot at 55 and 63 yards. So let's try it. Missed both of them. And I go home with a tag sandwich.
yeah.
But we go back out there to drive through for Christmas. This is our year to go to her place, her family's, for Christmas. And I called Corey.
Boy, is that a drive.
That's a clip, ain't it?
It's about 40 hours.
Goodness gracious.
So, and we've done it many times.
40 hours.
My little boy's made that drive. And he's 3.5 years old. He's made that drive about 4 times.
Wow.
Yep. But anyway, so Christmas comes around. This is about December the 20th, somewhere in there. And we're about to leave. About 2 days before we strike out, I called Corey. I said, hey, man. I said, we're gonna be staying right there in Rapid City. That's our halfway point, essentially, a little bit further than halfway. What if while Bree and Arlen are still in the hotel bed that morning, me and you hopped a tree and just, he's like, oh, yeah, dude, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. So we do just that. He picks me up at the hotel that morning in the dark. And this is all on YouTube, by the way, on my page. You can watch this hunt. That's filmed with a cell phone. We get to the spot that we had hunted before, one of the spots we had hunted before, and way down in a meadow. You talking about the prettiest morning is in the Black Hills of South Dakota. And way down there is where those deer feed in the evening. They go down from the mountain and feed in that valley in the evening, in the night. And then when the sun comes up, they come back in the trees. And that's where we are. So we see these deer a couple 100 yards off. And one of them we see is a shooter buck. And we hit the black rack. We hit a grunt call. And that son of a gun, they all come up. The whole group is one buck with a spike and a 4-point and a few does. They come up about 80, 90 yards from us. Something spooks the deer off, most of them. And there's some trees in between us, so we can see them run off, but we can't see him. And I'm thinking, well, they smelled us or whatever the case. This would have been so cool. This would be a pit stop moment right here that I killed a deer. And Corey's like, hey, I see a tail. Hold on. And he gets his binos up. He's like, he's still there. Hit that grunt call. Wait about 10 seconds. He's like, he's coming. And y'all, we pulled him in on a string. He come up that hill right at us, and then he turned to his right, our left. and walked out in an opening. And I didn't even know Corey was talking to me because I had already drawn back and I had said, I'd already ranged it. And I said, that area is 40 yards. I said, if he steps out, I'm not comfortable with this bow right there. But by George, in this scenario, he's getting it slung at him.
Mm-hmm.
And I drew back, and the whole time Corey's sitting there. If you're gonna shoot, you need to shoot him. This is the shot. If you're gonna shoot, and I sat there, and he was looking right at me. He saw me, and I just kept telling myself, be patient, take your time, squeeze. And y'all, I made the most god-awfulest shot right in front of his hind quarter. I pulled the trigger thinking that he would do that duck. Mm-hmm. And he just sat there and looked at me the whole time while that arrow went. But the way he was quartering away, it went in right here and come out right there at his heart.
That's a perfect shot.
He went 200 yards and dumped over.
Yeah.
And that right there was at 7:30 in the morning. Bree and Arlen, I FaceTimed her. She's sitting there brushing her teeth, trying to be quiet because Arlen's still, in the bed or whatnot. And I'm like, hey, we got a deer. We got a deer down. We can still be on the road on time and eat lunch and head out of here and have a pit stop 10 point right here.
I got him. That's right.
That was the coolest hunt that I've ever had in my life.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It all came together.
Yeah, it did.
Did you ride to Washington with him strapped on top of the truck? Or
I wanted to, but I knew about the Lacey Act, and I decided to leave him there. Okay, but no, we got the horns back, and we got him up there at the house. But yeah, that's
a great story. Yeah,
that was
the pit stop.
yeah,
That's
and
right.
there's some good hunting in Washington State too.
There is.
Yeah.
They've got all three of the turkeys. They've got Easterns, they've got Miriam's, and they've got Rios.
In Washington.
They do.
Well, heck, we need to go out
The
there.
state of Washington. Yeah.
Oregon does too.
Yep. Lanny, the things that I know that you don't know.
It's a lot. It's a lot, Bobby. It's a lot.
So, Trent, I wanted to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Amal and Juan are identical twins. Their mom carries a baby photo in her wallet. Carries one baby photo in her wallet. Do you know why?
Because they look alike. She don't need to.
Well, once you've seen Juan, you've seen them all.
I told you, Trent. You ought to
That's
see.
a good joke right there. I don't care what you say. I'm sitting there.
Don't encourage him. It's going to get worse. Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, "What's a one? What's a?" And I was like, "Oh, this is a riddle." That's when you start digging in for those dark jokes that you weren't supposed to tell on the podcast. Yeah. Well, let me bring those out and get canceled. Yeah.
What are you trying to
How is it
cancel?
when people ask you to tell them a joke? The only thing that comes to mind are like jokes you're not supposed to tell.
Oh, 100%.
Well,
I can't remember any of them.
I've been fortunate enough I ain't run into anybody that dumb yet. Just straight out like. Now I've met some characters though. I've met those guys that come up to you at a show, and I'm sure y'all have too. Especially if you're in the Mossy Oak booth or you're around anybody, you'll have those weirdos that come up and they just like get 5 feet from you and kind of look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what Bobby always does to
They
everybody.
just saner.
Yeah.
And then they ask you some goofy question. Remember that one video you did? Yeah.
Yeah. Which one?
All right, bud. It's like there's no exit. You just sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what does your wife think about what you do?
she didn't respect it at first. After the first video I did, first two I did, she said, Trent, really, baby, you don't respect people that do this. We don't respect guys that do what you're trying to do. How are you? And I'm like, well, honey, what if I'm making 10 grand a month? Mm-hmm. She's like, well, you ain't making 10 grand a month. Mm-hmm. And then things started getting better and I got monetized, and it was a quick transition because she went from disrespect to, have you done your videos today?
You're a natural.
You uploaded?
Yeah.
Why, it's 2:00.
I've
You
got
haven't uploaded.
We got frequency to get here.
I've got a list of ideas.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the UPS guy, beep, beep, beep. Yeah. So
Sponsored by Amazon.
So how do you come up with your stuff?
honestly, I am that just harebrained and crazy, and it's in my bloodline. I can come up with stuff, man, just on the fly about just about anything. And a lot of that has to do with my gene pool. All right. That would not be producible at all. But if my grandfather was still living, you could put him on a podcast. And a lot of them, you could put out there. You wouldn't want to put out to Christian folks, but it's definitely, some of it's good creativity, some of it's not, but it's all there. And being raised in the South helps a lot. And being raised in the woods, and really going out and hunting with people and all this kind of stuff, and then joining the military and seeing all those different cultures and going overseas and it just all builds, and if you can remember some things and you're not afraid to turn a phone on and face you and then show the world.
That's the kicker.
Yeah.
Because the biggest reason there's not 150 other people like me in Mississippi that are way better than me is because they're just afraid of what people think. I went to school and graduated with 54 people, and I guarantee you there was 5 people in that class that were way funnier and had way more potential than I did. But they just, for whatever reason, look at that as it's taboo. You need to work. And really what it is that fear of failure and that fear of rejection or somebody going, well, what's up, Mr. TikTok? I get that. I've gotten that. Not especially early on. That was a thing. What's up, TikTok? And then those folks calling you and saying that, 6 months, a year, 2 years later go, hey, Trent, hey, we're having a get together over at this thing, man. We'd love it if you could come by. And I'm like, oh yeah, TikTok's booked, but so, yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been able to, come up with some stuff. And when I first started out, when I did the Fistful of Dirt podcast, I was doing 2 to 3 videos a day. And Robert Arrington taught me that, hey, look, you need to do volume that you can produce for 10 years. So if you can keep doing this volume, do it. But your fans are going to expect this in 2 years from now. So scale back if you can. And then I started doing 1 a day. And then I went from 7 to 6. And that's where I am now. I'm 6 a week. When you get to that kind of volume, I feel like with anything that you do, you wire your brain to constantly be thinking about it in every situation, in every waking moment. I mean, sometimes even dream up skits or whatnot, but you just do it so much and you're constantly doing that your brain never turns off.
I think a lot of songwriters are like that. They're just always thinking about that, that next line.
Yeah.
And you're looking through a scope where, you see the life is cool and fun and humorous. You know what I mean?
It's a good point.
It really is. And I think one of the keys to it, and we're reminded about this all the time by our fearless leader, and y'all are going to know what I'm going to say. He says it all the time. Don't take yourself so seriously. You know what I mean? And you can tell that you're confident and you're delivering what you do, but you find the humor and don't take everything so serious. So it really comes across well.
Well, I appreciate it.
You're really good at picking out those personality types and just taking them to the next level.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, my family has taken a lot of things to the next level, and that's why we could do a family reunion at Parchman. But, as long as you give it to God and channel that into a non-aggressive, producible platform, you can do some decent things,
So
yeah.
Have you got a couple of videos that just stand out in your mind? Like, I love this one. I thought this one I knocked it out of the park on this one.
Not really. I'm very, I think like a lot of guys, hypercritical, of myself. I want to do a good job. And so I don't really look at anything I've done. I could always do better. I don't look at anything I've done as good. When people come up and ask for me to take a picture, an autograph, at the foundation of me, I'm sitting here thinking, why? All right. I'm from Etowah County. I didn't come from money. I come from a middle-class family, nothing special. What do you want a picture for? But I'm very, very thankful for it to say that. I'm very thankful. And because I could be on top of a roof right now instead of doing a podcast with y'all. All right. But so I've just, I don't have anything that I'm just like super proud of. Probably the video that sticks out in my mind is the one that I get the most recognition for around here and in the rural parts of America. And that's the one that I did acting like my 15-year-old self, talking back to my mom and my daddy walking in the room.
That one was great.
Everything all right in here?
Yeah.
And heard a feller talking to my wife, raising his voice. That's a true story. Nothing was fabricated. The only thing that was him taking a belt off. I think he had shorts on. He may not even have pants on. He was not going to use a belt if he, were to have done anything. He was just going to threaten, and Mama was trying to deflect, because Daddy was at that point, he believed in violence. Still does. Mm-hmm. So that's why another reason I don't cuss or anything on videos, and I try not to. I try to read the Bible every day and try to grow my walk with Christ and do what I can to everything to honor and glorify Him. But I am human, but I am still scared enough of my daddy that I'm not going to get on here and act like a fool because he will show up to my house and say, "Hey, step on out here and let me holler at you real quick."
Yeah. So has your dad gotten into hunting since then?
No, sir.
Let go.
And he won't. I'm going to tell you what my daddy wants to do. He wants to watch the stock market, which is like my passion and our passion for the outdoors and hunting. That was his from 20 years old with the stock market. People don't know my dad's a very, very good swing trader and sometimes day trader. He does a lot of swing trading.
Cool.
But he reads charts and screens and stocks and all this kind of stuff, just like we would an aerial map of a new place that we're trying to go hunt. And which is, I wanted, when I first got investment licensed, I wanted to get a Series 7. That way I could, trade stocks for people. And I started talking to Dad about it. And he's like, son, keep doing mutual funds. He said, you don't want to do none of that crap. He said, you want to build a big enough book of business that's averaging 10, 12% a year, which you should, for your clients, which is great. And then you want to do that to where you can make enough money to go hunt and buy land and hunt some more. He said, that's what you need to do. He said, because if you're going to be a day trader or a swing trader, he said, you need 40 hours a week, 5 years minimum to have a foundation.
Wow.
He said, you want to do that? So my dad is that guy. He's still country. He was one of those guys that whooped you and told you not to cry, turned you into a quarter horse.
Yeah.
But he's stock market guy, not the hunter. So he wants to watch the stock market, be at his house, not deal with hardly anybody unless it's his grandchildren. And that's all he wants to be around, his grandchildren and the stock market. Not even sure about me, or my brother, but
it's the grandkids now. Yeah.
The grandkids. For sure.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
That's it.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like the stock market and obsessing about hunting. I think they're both great.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Did you see the little teaser we did for the podcast that came out this week? It was with Andrew Maxwell and Jacob Myers from Southern Outdoor.
Yeah.
Did you see that where Dudley and Mitchell and I talked about it when we were editing this because Dudley makes a comment. I've been experimenting with my pee.
What is that? Hold on.
Dudley said that. So we put that in the teaser.
Oh, great. I hadn't seen that yet.
But we had to put some other things in it so everybody had some context about what he was.
Peeing in the scrapes. Is that what you're talking about?
I thought you were talking about you were sitting down or something now.
I'd take it top of the
just
squat.
out of the blue, he makes that comment.
Yeah.
I don't have a filter, Bob.
Yeah.
But have you ever peed on the ground to see if a deer, to put a camera in front of it?
No, I'm scared.
I killed a deer one day because I knew I had drank too much coffee. Can we tell the story?
Well, go ahead. You're already
so
this far
I'd
into
like to hear this.
Yeah, so I'm in the stand. I'm late. I've drank too much coffee. I'm like, man, I'm not getting out of the stand. I pee out of the stand, and I can smell the coffee, And I look downwind, and a doe picks her nose up like that right there. I can see her throat patch. I was like, I know this ain't fixing to happen. She couldn't stand it. She had to come over there and see what it was. And she got the old good arrow shaft. But anyways,
I'm glad you said it.
my coffee. Yeah,
In front of that.
Yeah, I've actually called a rutting 3-year-old 8-point up peeing out of the stand.
There you go, Bobby. You should try peeing in the woods.
I
more
might
often.
need to try
Yeah, you
that.
should.
So, guys, what if you have 3 shotguns in one hand and 10 decoys in the other? What do you have?
3 shotguns and 10 decoys.
A guy holding a blind overnight.
You have big hands.
I told you it was going to get worse.
That I don't know, man. I like those sound effects you got out there, brother. That's good.
Keeps them awake.
Hey, that's true though. That's good. That's good. I know some big socks jokes, but we're probably not going to get into all that. You know? All right, yeah.
So, growing up deer hunting, when you were in high school, was it a big thing to leave after school or get to go, or were you just a weekend kind of guy? Or
Yeah, in high school, I would go after school a lot. I would duck hunt a lot in the morning before school.
Mm-hmm.
Me and a buddy of mine, who's the ag teacher there now, Matt Spradlin, we would go and we would go to the waterway and get in those little wood duck holes right there in the
that's
woods.
where I cut my teeth too.
Park at the boat ramp. Didn't either one of us have a boat. We just walk in the woods about 300 yards, get into a little mud hole and schwack some woodies. And then 7 o'clock rolls around. We go to Peppertown Restaurant, get us a biscuit, and head to school, go to school. We got in trouble because this was back when, we still carried guns in our trucks.
Yeah.
Not in the school and shot anybody, but it was always waders and shotguns or 30-06s or whatever.
It was just kind of unspoken.
Yeah, it was.
Until the SRO come in there and was like, Trent, you need to get that shotgun out of the window, son, and everybody can see it in here.
Put it under the seat.
And yeah. And but my principal pulled me aside one day. I drove a little Ford Ranger. And he said, Trent, today when you leave, if you don't mind, if you have any duck feathers in the back of your truck, I'm going to give you a black garbage bag. Can you put all of those feathers in there and tie it up? And I said, did I leave any feathers yesterday? He said, we worked for 4 hours picking up duck feathers on the front yard part of the school because you left and they just come out the back. So, but yeah, we would do things like that. I remember, I think the first rack buck I ever killed, I was in blue jeans and just a camouflage hoodie in like 7th or 8th grade. 8th grade, I'd come home and I said, I'm just going to go out there and sit in the stand. It was 3:30, 4 o'clock. And Daddy's like, sure, whatever. Took my little 243, went out there and sure enough, little buck chasing a doe.
There he
I
is.
busted him. And that was so surreal for me. I'm like, how did this just happen? Like, I just got done with school. I threw my backpack in the floor, just grabbed my gun, come out here. And Daddy, I got back. He's like, did you shoot one? I said, yes, sir. He said, I thought I heard you shoot. That gum, son.
You gonna make a go of this. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's how it happens right there.
Yeah, it is. It's so. Yeah, I mean, Bobby, you remember this, and I think you're on the tail end because you're a little bit, definitely younger than us. But I mean, we had gun racks.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you don't see those anymore.
no, we had gun racks in the windows, and you showed them to everybody. That
Yeah.
was part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything malicious in it at all. It was just like I was,
And if you had a Bronco, you had them on both sides.
That's right, both sides. I had a Bronco myself.
There was a company called San Angelo that made these metal
fit
racks
in the windows.
Yeah, and they were rubberized.
Yeah.
And just it was fantastic.
Yeah, can't do that anymore.
We used to take pocket knives into school.
Oh yeah.
Would keep them because a lot of the boys would work out there at the ag shop, but a lot of the guys worked after school, and if you work a regular blue collar job, any
need
kind
a
of
knife.
physical, you need a pocket knife. And I remember, like, not to make a statement, but I remember just carrying a knife and having a clip right there. And finally, one day, a teacher asked me about it. He was a coach, and he said, Trent, you got a knife right there? And I said, oh, I sure do. Do I need to put it in my pocket? He said, no, you good. I just make sure you knew. I said, yes, sir. I'm fine. I ain't gonna cut nobody.
Good old rural Mississippi schools right there.
Yeah, you
That's
used to
for
give
sure.
the teacher a dip.
Yeah.
I saw that many times. Hey, Gray, Mears, give me a dip, son. Yeah, I saw that many a time. Yeah.
Did you play sports?
Yes, sir. I played everything up until about 8th, 9th grade, and then I went to basketball, football, and then from 10th grade on, I just played football. So I was just good enough to not go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like real small town high school, you think you the cock of the walk, you're 5'10", 185, running a 4'9". Okay. That's like, yeah, I'm good. And then you play against somebody good and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go get a job or join the military. So,
what was your military service like? Thank you for your service, by the way.
thank you. Yeah, I was in the Marines from 2013 to 2017. And then I was in the Guard from 2019 to 21. But yeah, I turned 18 in boot camp.
Wow.
19 on my first deployment. 20 when I got back from my second, about a month after that. And then I turned 21 on my third and got out 6 months after that. So I couldn't even legally drink most of my contract.
Right. No doubt about it. I didn't even think about that.
Would you still let an MRE if somebody offered you one?
No. Not unless I was, like starving.
Yeah.
But no, not just for fun. Heck no. I would build a bomb with it.
Oh, yeah,
MRE
the
bomb.
carbide stuff in there.
Yeah. We were overseas, and one of the guys, it's one of the worst hazing instances I've ever seen in my life. But one of our guys, young guys like me at the time, we were both I had just gotten promoted to Lance Corporal, and he was still a PFC. And he was up in a guard tower, and we were out backed up on we were in Aqaba, Jordan, and we were backed up to a mountain that separated Jordan and Saudi Arabia, is what they told us. And I say that because I still to this day have never looked at the map. I just remember getting into Israel, and we bussed from Israel to Jordan. But yeah, they were like, yeah, over that mountain, Saudi Arabia. And there's bombs all at the base of it right here, so don't walk over there. And so this kid, he created a MRE bomb. And we're all out there on post, and we're checking vehicles and TCNs as they're coming in to the fob or whatnot. It was a base, but it was pretty much a stinking fob. I mean, it was like a rectangular barbed wire or C-wire base that was probably, 400 or 500 yards long on the long ends, a couple of 100 yards long on the sides right here. And the only thing, there was no walls or nothing. We just had concrete barriers right there at the at the entry control point where everybody came through, or the cars, the vehicles or whatnot, and barbed wire was around the rest of it and went to the mountain on each side. And so, and you had guard towers at every corner and every middle section and with guys in it, and that was a different platoon doing that. Well, one of their guys, God rest his soul, he created, he was a very tall, big, boisterous guy. And in the Marines, when you're like, doesn't matter your age, but when you're young in the ranks, you don't say nothing because it's just an open invitation to get punched in the mouth several times for nothing, figuratively and literally. But he was always doing something stupid. And dude, we're sitting there and nothing's going on, and all of a sudden you hear boom, and we're like, okay, it's go time. Yeah. Where's it at? Contact left. And we look up there, and this dude is getting freaking hammered. His NCO starts beaming up that darn guard tower and gets up there and tears into him. He built an MRE bomb and decided to set it off at like, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the morning, still dark outside. And yeah, so that's what I would do.
That's the kind of
he
stuff
got
you
hazed
do
a little.
for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time, big time.
So.
Yeah, he
probably didn't do that again.
No, no, he did not. He did not.
Well, if you're out there listening, give us a call.
MRE, meals ready to eat.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So what are some of the traditions with hunting that you enjoy so much? What about did you get blood rubbed on your face or any of those kind of things that you just really treasure?
No, sir. And I think that's mainly because I didn't grow up, in that kind of environment. Deer camp wasn't expected. It wasn't like we would go down here, to Starkville and stay at a deer camp. I think we did that once when I was 12, and then we did it again, I want to say right before I was in the Marines, so like 17. And then, once I lived down here, we would do it a lot more regular. But probably the only real traditions that I have is opening day of dove season.
That's a good one.
That's like the tradition that I hold dear, because normally if it's on a Saturday, you have college football kicking off and you've got your first little cool spell that's come through. It's now in the low 60s or the high 50s, and you're a month away from deer season, a 4-month-long deer season mixed in with ducks, and then you got a little break, and then bam, it's right there for turkeys for a month and a half and 2 months if you go out of state or whatnot. So dove season was something that I actually did with my father and my brother back when I was 7, 8 years. I think that was the first thing I ever actually killed was a dove on a limb after we had all, hunted and was going to clean the birds. So that's really the only tradition that I have that I hold dear to. Every opening weekend of dove season, I want to be in a field somewhere. And this next year, my little boy will be 4. I would really like it. I'm not going to force him now. I've been told by many hunting daddies, look, don't force them.
That's right.
To go, because then they'll resent it. But once, I hope it's next year, but whenever he asks, Daddy, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right.
I've already told his mama, I was like, look, when he wants to go, we're going.
We're going.
And you got to invite him though.
I'm going to. I always ask him. Now I'm like, and he's 3, and I'll be like, hey, do you want to go sit in the shoot house with Daddy? And before we go, he's yeah, I want to do that. And it's like, all right, buddy, get your boots on. Let's get your clothes. I want to stay here with Mama. Like, okay, all right.
Well, they gave us some good advice. I think VJ gave us he was actually talking about golf, was interesting, but it was a good piece of advice. He said, you can't teach them to love it, but you can teach them to hate it. And so, yeah, definitely.
Get Lanny with the wisdom, playing it.
Hey, look, I'm just,
Tall,
I know what
dark.
he's talking.
Lanny, I think your beard's getting a little grayer when you say stuff like
Is it
that.
gray?
Yeah. You remember on Mayberry when Goober grew a beard and got real wise and started talking all the time?
There we go.
It's kind of Lanny.
Don't worry about that.
So look, let's paint a scenario. You're walking into a public area to go hunting.
Yes, sir.
It's dark. You get in there and you pump up a tree. There you are, getting organized, probably eating a little Debbie while you're waiting. All of a sudden, here comes somebody else. And they come and they get about 30 yards from you and they climb up a tree. Are you going to try to...
we ain't doing that. We ain't getting 30 foot up, I can tell you that. Ain't gonna make it that far.
Do you go over there and do you try to make them laugh? Do you have fun with the situation?
No, it's going to be first. It's going to be a whistle. Hey, I'm here. And luckily, I have been met with, oh, sorry about that, and keep moving. Look, if that were to ever happen, I'm smart enough. I'm not going to come up and just start swinging on somebody. But you can better believe every animal within 500 yards is going to hear, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. I'm going to be singing
He's
God's
a singing
praises.
deer hunter.
Yes.
Right.
Nobody's seeing nothing. So, and you did say public, and I said public and all that stuff. I will say to anybody listening, last year was the first year in 6-7 years that I did not kill a public deer. Every one of them come off private, and 2 of them were one of them was with a crossbow and a corn feeder, and the other one was with a regular bow and a corn feeder. So I know that's important to the hunting community, because if you portray yourself as Billy Bad A, Mr. Public Land Hunter, I do want your listeners to know that I'm not opposed to, shooting one at 50 yards with a crossbow.
Yeah, everybody's got to eat, baby.
Yeah.
That's right.
We like hunting private land.
Oh, yeah.
We like being in a club.
We call that collecting meat.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Wow. Y'all want me to tell y'all another joke?
I got one more. We got one more. Are they getting worse?
Well,
I hope so.
What does the farmer say to the cows at night? It's past your bedtime.
There you go. That's good.
That's cute.
It's a good
Bob.
farming joke. That's good. That's pretty good.
Mitchell, did you come up with a trivia question for him?
I did.
All right.
Trent, we ask our list. If you listen to our podcast, you would know this. But we ask a trivia question, and it's brought to you by our friends at the Peanut Patch.
You like boiled peanuts?
Yeah, I mean, for this episode, I do. Shoot,
All right,
yeah.
we're finna hook him up.
Yeah, I actually have a case of their spicy at the house.
There you go.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did a guy named Bubba give them to you?
No, Phil and Shane from the Hayden, Alabama podcast.
Okay.
did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What Dudley has learned amongst his many experiments is that he can take the fluid from the spicy ones,
The brine.
the brine. Is that what it's called?
Oh, I hadn't tried it, but I'm dying to.
Well, he thinks he can cook a chicken in it.
I want to marinate a chicken in it.
Well, the guy from the Peanut Patch told him he does it. Yeah, you remember when we talked to him on the phone the other day? And we said Dudley's been all over it.
Yeah, they're good peanuts.
Yeah, they are. Good stuff.
All right, Mitchell.
Well, before that, we have a listener review.
Ooh.
What did he win, Bubby?
Well, so this is the last Ryan Kirby poster. Have you seen these, Trent? It's a poster of buck ages. It's got the antlers and as they go to 2.5, 3.5,
Yes,
4.5,
yes, sir.
and then body sizes.
Yes,
Great
sir.
for a hunting camp.
He's an incredible artist.
Yeah,
He
go
really
to
is.
ryankirbyart.com. Check those out.
Where our winner was T. Reese 87. He's a lifelong outdoorsman
Hey.
and has learned so much from the podcast. I look forward to each episode.
How about that?
Golly. I can't believe people.
Tell him thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Trent, you see what it's rough around here.
Hey, Sung follows orders to a T. I like it.
So the trivia question is, in the movie The Great Outdoors, Chet Ripley, played by John Candy, takes on what food challenge?
Oh.
Oh, all right. Timeout. The Great Outdoors. Jog my memory here.
John
It's a
Candy, Dan
great movie.
Aykroyd.
Yes, that's
Dan
right. Yeah,
Aykroyd.
yeah.
They're in a cabin.
They have a boat called Eat My Wake.
Yeah, Eat My Way. And they go to this restaurant.
Yes, Paul Bunyan's restaurant.
Hold on. You said John Candy. Was that the heavy set
Yeah.
guy?
Yes.
This might be.
Uncle Buck.
Mitchell,
And the Blues Brothers.
how old did you think I was? Bubba?
Yeah, I was fixing to say he might be a little young for this.
That's
one.
it. Look, this is a deal with me. Everybody that I run into, and the longer my hair is and the longer my beard is and the more weight I gain, the older.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm 38 to 43.
And you're actually 30?
I'm 30.
Wow. Yeah.
I have been road or what's the saying?
Rode
I've
hard
been
and put
rode
up wet.
hard and put up wet. That's right.
I will say this and Uncle Buck are some of my favorite movies. So
Well, I tell you what we'll do. We'll
Okay.
give you a shot at this.
Yeah,
But
I
if you
don't
like
know.
that-
I'd love to come up with something.
There's
but-
a place in Amarillo, Texas.
You know the answer.
There's a
do?
yeah.
or you could go for what's behind curtain number 2 over here.
Hey,
What's behind curtain too? I want to know.
I've got another trivia for him.
Another trivia. All right.
Let's
But
let's
you
try
could
it.
you could Dudley seems to think you might could pull this one off.
I am not. I hope I haven't portrayed being the smartest, knowledgeable. I have a
Movie
degree
person.
from state in interdisciplinary studies.
All right.
Do you know what you can do with that? Nothing. You can tell jokes. That's it.
Well,
Well, you mean answer?
yeah, he probably should try because I think mine might.
What
even be
do we
worse.
got? Yeah, what do we got?
It is. You mean answer the first one?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's the old 96er, isn't
That's
it?
right.
Which is a giant steak. Oh, thank you.
It's a good movie. You ought to watch it, and it's family friendly. You could watch it with your wife.
Well, there we go.
No.
Yeah.
So Dan Aykroyd's kind of like this.
He's a jerk.
He's a stock trader, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yes, he's a stock trader. It'll be perfect. And John Candy is like
They're just a regular guy trying to make a
regular
living.
dude trying to have fun with the fam in the great outdoors.
And yes, it's such a good movie.
There's
When
a bear involved too.
the bald-headed bear.
Bald-headed bear.
Yes. And the guy that got struck by lightning, that's hair went white.
Golly, my dad's gonna be so disappointed. In me. He'll be like, son, I raised you better than that.
You were probably out, running around the woods with the 17
Look,
HMR.
when my dad come down the driveway, I got out of the house. Okay, it's like you saw him. You didn't go in front of the window and go, "Oh, Daddy's home." He's like, "All right, we'll see y'all at dark." So, yeah.
We're going to get him a copy of The Great Outdoors.
We should.
That'd be a great partner.
It's probably on YouTube. You can probably you probably got a YouTube account.
I totally wasn't watching clips of it before this
I
episode.
bet you were. How old are you, Mitchell?
25.
25. So this younger generation is picking up these old movies.
Yeah.
What should we have asked you when you were driving down here? You probably said, "Ooh, I bet they're going to ask me about this."
One of y'all asked me before we started rolling about stand up.
Yeah.
whatnot.
No, I mean, you're
And my
starting to do a little
last-
stand-up, aren't you?
Yes, that was you, Lanny.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
So my last one that I did was we now have myself and the Hayden, Alabama podcast. We have a thing that we're starting called the County Road Show. So we're going to start, I want to say we're working on right now. Our first show that you can actually buy tickets for is going to be in November.
Awesome.
That hasn't been finalized yet, but that's what we're shooting for. And I'm going to be doing 15 to 20 minutes of stand up to kind of loosen everybody up. And then I'm going to sit down kind of blue collar comedy tour style with Shane and Phillip. And when Brother Rob and Brother Blink can be there, Brother Blink, and we're going to tell stories, podcast style, live.
Brother Blink, that's the plowed dirt guy?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. So this past weekend, Phil called me 2 weeks ago and he was like, "Hey man, got a gig coming up. It could be a great dry run." He's like, "It's not a paid deal, but we ought to do it. That way we can practice." So it was down in Quitman, Mississippi
Oh, quit, man.
at Clark Fest. Great people. Shout out to Miss Rhonda. She did a great job setting this thing up. But it was definitely one of those things. They had a little stage, and all throughout the day they would have people come up there, and 99% of them besides us were going to sing. And it was one of those things that people would just gather if they wanted to, or continue walking and seeing vendors and stuff like that. So I get up there to do stand up, and pretty much everybody in the crowd has been pulling Social Security for at least 5 years, 6 years. That every one of them are well versed in Medicare. All right. And by every one of them, I mean all 9 of them. So I went up there and not only did a set at 10 o'clock, I did a set at 2 o'clock, which had less people. And I had one guy so embarrassed for me because I was like burning through it, going. I was like, I'm gonna take this on I'm gonna take this on the chin like a man, and I'm gonna get up here and I'm gonna still do it and everything. And I had one guy in the corner that was in the Air Force. He was signing off on everything I said. And which was like, man, as long as he's there, I'm good.
Yeah, we're going to keep
I had
rolling.
a guy in front of him. He was laughing, but he had his head down because there was a guy right here with his wife. His wife was on her phone in a lawn chair, and he was just over there, just just almost at death's door. And so that was our first actual show that was free. The County Road Show debuted at Clark Fest in Quitman, Mississippi, and I wish we could have filmed it. Because it was good for us, but it would, it'd be like going into a diner and just being like, "Hey, while y'all are eating, we're going to have some guys get up here. Somebody's going to do stand up for 10 minutes, then tell y'all some stories." And be like,
Okay.
All right. Anyway, yes. That
Be
was
a good
funny.
memory, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's great.
So do you have a location for the November show, or is it just...
Right now, I don't want to say.
Yeah.
As far as where, but it's more than likely going to be in Alabama.
Go.
And like Phillip, he still preaches.
Yeah.
He's a preacher.
A lot of those guys, preachers.
Well, yeah, Brother Robin just retired. Now he's working with the FCA.
Okay.
So still kind of.
Yeah.
But and I want to
Still
say
outreach.
Shane is a deacon, so he's very, very active. I'm just a good old Christian, you know, that goes every Sunday, or tries to at least. But these guys still have to, like Phil especially, he still has to be at church on Sunday. So we're not trying to start off and go to California. We're trying to stay within 5-6 hours of here. That way we can, if we need to do not overnight, but just a day trip, we can.
And you're calling County Line?
The County Road Show.
County Road Show. I like it.
You have to go.
Yeah, we're going to go.
If y'all just do your thing, it's going to work.
It's going to work like a champ, no doubt about it.
Don't change a thing.
All right, Trent, I want to check you all on this one. Do you know what a baculum is?
No, sir.
Would you pass?
Hold
that
on.
to-
Yes, I do.
Would you?
That's a coon pecker.
There you go.
Yeah.
What other things have baculums?
A walrus.
A walrus. That's exactly
I
right.
think there's something else.
There is something else. But I bet, what is it?
That's a big one, might I add. That son of a gun.
You ought to see a walrus baculum.
Yeah, I think they're
What
the
about
biggest.
a platypus?
I think it is a platypus.
You know, if-
Let me ask.
yeah, somebody look that up. So, is there anything else we need to know about you that would surprise us, shock us,
Shock you. Well,
inspire us?
definitely not.
Yeah. What did you have more fun with us or with Cuz? You
Oh,
can be
man.
honest with us.
Hey, look, it was just a blessing to be here with both of you.
There you go.
I mean, that hurt.
Man knows what he's
I think
doing.
he's just trying to be nice to me here. Doggone it. Doggone it.
But now, Cuz did cook hamburgers, so there is that.
Yeah, I got you ice water.
You did, and a chip painted cup. I like that. It's
Now, we were trying to take you to lunch, but you had a meeting with your pastor.
That's right.
Which is way more important than us.
That's
so
right.
It's good.
Shout out to Brother Danny.
There you go, Brother
He's
Danny.
a nut. But yeah,
Where do you go to church?
First Baptist South Tiller.
South Tiller.
South Tiller. Tiller Town.
We
Yes,
ran
sir.
cross country in Saltillo last week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
My aunt
Dud
lives
had
in
his,
South
had his
Tiller.
best time.
Go Dud. And that's what I'm talking
There we
about.
go.
That's right.
Well, is there what else we need to ask?
I don't know. It's been a pleasure getting to know him better.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
We enjoy watching
fellas,
you. So
yeah,
guys
we
can,
enjoy watching
if they
you.
want to follow you, they can go to
Well, any platform, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, it's my name, Trent Ellis. The only one that's different, I believe, is Instagram is Trent_Ellis21.
Okay.
But you type in my name and it'll pop up.
Yeah.
As Bobby would say, all 8 of our listeners may be able to check that out.
You know,
That's right.
You're a funny guy, though. I enjoy watching you.
Well,
No,
I appreciate it.
It's-
Yeah, and you bring light on the Southern culture better than anybody I've seen, honestly.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. It
In,
really
in a
is.
world full of a lot of tension and
Yeah.
things, you can turn it to Trent, and you just seem to make light of everything, and look at it from a good perspective.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
sir.
good stuff.
Well, I
is.
appreciate that. And I appreciate y'all having me.
Oh,
having me
yeah.
on here. This is West Point, Mississippi. This is God's country.
Yes, that's
I
right.
like
yeah.
it.
We should go hunting sometime.
Hey, I am a phone call away.
There we
brother.
go, baby.
So,
Well, look, guys.
Done.
So hunting season's getting started. So remember,
Yes.
blood on the biologic. If you will, email us.
Yes,
you can-
and look, Mitchell is working diligently on a submission form coming up. So we're going to step into the what century is it? Is it the 21st or 22nd?
I think it is. No, 21st.
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah.
So we're going to try to formalize a process for y'all can start submitting us content that Mitchell can help disseminate to us. So
And I'm always going to say it doesn't have to be a dead animal. It might be a cool trail
Yeah.
cam photo of a persimmon
Food
tree
plot,
or something like that.
anything outdoors. Kids, please send kids stuff.
Yeah, we love kids stuff.
Love kids stuff.
So Trent, we've got a television show on the Outdoor Channel called
Yeah.
The Gamekeepers of Mossy Oak. I'm sure you've probably
He
watched
probably
that a lot.
records it.
Yeah, it's probably on. He's got his DVR.
But it's
he's running his,
What they call
he's running his
that?
DVR. yeah.
Tuesday nights, guys. The Tuesday nights, 9:00 Central Time. No, is it 9:00? It's 8:00.
8 o'clock.
8:00 Central
Central
Time.
Time.
Yep. So the new shows are rolling out, and Richie's done a great job. He's not here. He's on vacation.
Yeah,
right
he
now.
is hanging out with the big mouse in Florida.
I think that's exactly where he is.
Poor thing.
So yeah, y'all don't forget to watch the show. We appreciate y'all listening to the podcast. And if you get a
Yes.
chance, share it with a friend and subscribe.
Don't forget, go to the Mossy Oak Gamekeeper page, click on Gamekeeper Giveaway, sign up for this Nosler custom rifle.
Yes, that's
It is-
winding down.
You need to go sign up for this rifle because it is one fine piece of equipment,
Said
and you
Nosler.
can win it. Yeah, it's a custom rifle.
It's got a can on
Got a
it. and
can,
everything.
loophole scope, 6.5 Creedmoor in Bottomland. So yeah, go to Gamekeeper Giveaway on the website. Be sure and enter. That only got about 30 days left.
All right, guys, it's been fun
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
looking around the room. Why don't you say goodbye, Dudley?
Goodbye, Dudley.
Get us out of here,
Thanks
Mitchell.
for tuning in to this week's episode of the Gamekeeper Podcast. And be sure to tune in again. Subscribe to Gamekeeper Farming for Wildlife magazine and don't miss the Mossy Oak Properties Fistful of Dirt podcast with my good buddy, Ronnie Cuz Strickland.